This is Pop Culture on Blast. Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Tim.
Today, guys, we're going to talk about the DC Universe.
Are
we are. The state of it, some of the news going on right now. Tim, you and I are more of the superhero fans. We know more about this than Josh does.
The state of California.
Yeah,
I would
the
say
West Coast.
I would say right now there's two things, Tim, that warrant discussion about the DC Universe. One, the outrageous success of Aquaman.
Yes.
Which is a big deal in the DC Universe. And the apparent...
Alleged
recasting of Ben Affleck. So, let's talk about the Aquaman achieving the financial success that it has. What are some of the significance of that, Tim?
Well, it's the first actual DC movie of the modern version.
People liked.
We're going to go into this discussion.
That was Wonder Woman. I'm sorry.
I enjoyed them all, but okay.
The claws came out on that one.
Rare.
Wow.
But no, it was the most successful. It passed the Nolan trilogy. Ugh.
It's financially done better than each of those.
Yes, I did. I have issues with the Nolan trilogy.
On the Nolan trilogy?
He did.
I do.
He did.
I have a massive problem with that.
I thought people worshipped at its...
No. The greatest thing that ever happened to that trilogy was Heath Ledger, and that's it.
That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good else.
You didn't
Nothing
like
else good.
That gravelly Batman voice?
No.
You mean the guy can't go to Party City and buy a voice modulator for $10?
You can't?
Bruce Wayne can.
Bruce Wayne can, apparently.
Oh, wow. Well, okay.
I didn't continue. Sorry.
Well, no, like our previous discussion on Disney and Fox, I didn't know anything about this. This isn't something that I typically follow, but Justin pointed me to an article about Ben Affleck. Apparently, he's out. Apparently, this is official because I said, Justin, haven't people known this for a long time?
It's a legend.
I don't live in the know, but haven't people known this? And Justin said, no, this is very current. I was like, okay, whatever you say. And Justin, who sent me an article, said, it said basically, yeah, it's official. Ben Affleck is done, and he's just out. This is new. So hey, I think that sucks actually, because I liked Ben Affleck. I still do.
Everyone did.
Yes,
really.
Well,
he was like the saving grace of
most realistic portrayal.
Well, kudos
of
to Ben Affleck because he had that rough patch for a while. And I think
people just talked such crap about him getting that role until they saw the trailer and they were like, "Oh."
And the man, I think the man needed a break. Did you see that video with him and Henry Cavill when The Sound of Silence was played over him?
Yeah,
no.
It was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen, and funny too.
Well, I've seen when they were doing press for Justice League. You know, like
I'll have to show that to you.
What's his name? Graham
Revel.
Graham
Norton.
Graham Norton. You know, they were all on Graham Norton, and Henry Cavill there. Henry Cavill's there. Lois Lane is there. You know, the whole thing. Amy Adams. And
isn't Lois Lane a fictional character? How could she?
Yeah,
she was there.
Portrayed by Amy Adams.
But Henry Cavill was fun and all that. Amy Adams was fun and bubbly. Affleck, I don't want to say he was like sitting there being dopey, but he just, you could tell just looking at him. I don't want to say he didn't want to be there, but I felt like his heart wasn't in it. And
I think he was broken down, honestly, because everyone took a dump on him.
But well, you're right. That press would have been before the movie really came out. So no, that was after Batman Superman, or maybe that was press for Batman Superman.
That was press for Batman Superman.
Yeah, you're right. So at that point, maybe he was getting crapped on, and people hadn't seen it yet, and they were like, "Oh, you're the only good thing in that movie. Never mind."
Oh, I think probably it was a factor of things. In my mind, I thought that it was probably a mixture of the director and the studio not really matching what Ben imagined himself as Batman being.
Well, that's something I'm not sure about, because I want to say I've read comments from Affleck. It seems like he and Snyder were totally in sync. I think it was Joss Whedon that he didn't agree with, even though I never read anything about that.
Yeah.
I want to say I've read stuff basically saying that implying that he was very much on board with what Snyder was doing, even though, you know, we all may have issues with the Snyderverse. Clearly, he understood Batman.
Well, I can imagine the friction. It's, you know, a new captain comes onto the ship and tries to take control and steer a new course.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys remember hearing this when Snyder left, Affleck was essentially promoted to like executive, like he had veto abilities at that point.
When did Snyder leave?
Three quarters of the way in, maybe, or close to.
What?
You know what? I stand corrected.
The Justice League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say he finished principal photography, and Joss Whedon took over for extensive reshoots. Is I believe what happened.
And they changed the direction it was supposed to be going in.
Yeah, and maybe that's where he got.
Which
really
explains why
unhappy
there's more
with it.
humor in that movie.
Yes, and you
Yes.
can tell Joss Whedon's influence. He has a very distinctive sense
Touch,
of humor
yeah.
and things like that. But Aquaman being the financial success that is, that's a big deal. Like you told me that it just took over Iron Man, right? Financially,
It made more money than the first Iron Man officially. But because it's been more successful, they've decided to stop trying to rush the shared universe that Marvel has made successful, and they're going to try and go for standalone movies. Because originally, an after credit scene was supposed to lead into the Flash's movie, and so
They cut that?
they cut it out because he wanted it to be its own thing. That's why there was no talk of Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman or anything within Aquaman itself, and he proved that it can stand by its own, on its own.
well, I definitely think that's the way to go. Given that they've not been entirely successful with their shared universe so far, maybe that's what we all kind of argued. They just need to make strong single movies and let it be
And
for
they
a
have.
minute.
That is something that I read that's, including Ben Affleck leaving, was that they were going to be moving away from this shared universe.
Yeah.
That it didn't work, and they were going to go back to solo projects.
Or at least focus on it for a while, right?
For a while, see
For a while.
if they can build up some steam, get some
Get
Wonder
us
Woman,
interested in these characters
like
again.
Shazam and Wonder Woman 84, and
Wonder Woman 84.
1984. That's
Mm-hmm.
when.
What's the difference?
it's in 1984.
That's where it
That's the
takes
sequel.
place.
Is Big Brother there?
Maybe.
No, but time travel is apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, because what's his name will be back in it.
Yes.
Captain Kirk will be in it.
Chris
Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah,
They say there's a good
there's
reason.
actually a good
I
reason.
hope there is. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
But you knew it at one point.
I knew it.
was
at one
about to
point.
say
They've
died.
they've said how he came back.
Oh, thanks. Spoiler warning.
No,
I didn't-
in Wonder Woman.
I haven't seen it.
I'm
Dude,
sure you're in a
seriously.
real rush,
Okay,
too.
now we have to
Oh, yeah.
we have to post
on my
spoiler
Netflix
alerts on
queue.
this one.
For a
Spoiler
movie
warning.
that came out 2 years ago, Wonder Woman, roughly. Spoilers.
Was it that long ago? Really?
Yeah, actually, because it was before Justice League and after Batman vs Superman, so it was sandwiched in between.
Thank you, historian.
I try my best.
But when you mentioned this, you pointed out that this is a big deal for DC.
It is.
Wonder Woman defied expectations in being better than what people expected because
you didn't really say
It's-
much about it.
I was not a huge fan of it, but I know a lot of other people
I've
were.
always seen it as a big deal for the theatrical live-action versions of DC. The animated universe they've created is very successful in its own right.
That's something else. You and I are in total agreement on that. The people that run the animated division of the DC
They've
films,
always done it better than Marvel has.
they've nailed it every time.
So who's going to play Batman now?
It's up in the air.
No idea who allegedly will replace Ben Affleck. I
You
can
think it'll be a
dream.
black Batman?
John Hamm has put his name into
a
that.
man can dream. Okay,
I want John Hamm personally.
I want Ben Affleck. Everyone else can suck.
Hey,
it.
look, if Ben comes back, I'd be overjoyed. That'd be great. But if he's
They got Sean
done,
Connery to come back.
yeah.
Because there was no official word from Warner Brothers saying that he is no longer Batman.
Well, when
It was a comment he said, I can't wait to see this version. Never said I can't wait not to be in it.
I think the writing was on the wall when the movie, when I want to say it was during the production of Justice League that they announced they'd be doing the solo Batman movie, and they said Affleck would be writing, directing, producing. It was going to be his baby. And then I forget how long later he stepped down. He said, I'm still doing the movie, but I'm not going to write or direct. I'm going to give it to what turned out to be Matt Reeves. And he's like, I've got total faith in Matt Reeves. He's an excellent filmmaker. This is going to be great. And then now, sometime later, he's been slowly backing
Backpedaling.
out of the train. And, I love him as Batman. So, but if he's done, he's done. And let's move on. For me, it's John Hamm. Do you have anyone in mind, Josh? Who would you love to see in that role? Can you think of anyone? The only thing they said is it's going to be young Batman. Young Batman.
Right, I heard that.
I dislike that part right there.
I know
That
you
it
like.
has to be young Batman. I like the older, grizzled Batman.
Keanu Reeves.
He's like in
Yeah.
his late 40s. now.
My choice,
but
and I'll
but
do
he
with it
still
as
looks
I
like,
want.
without that beard and stuff, he still looks like he's 22.
I am Batman. That was a terrible.
I
That-
am Batman.
Welcome
Ted,
to
really.
my Batcave.
Be most excellent here.
No way, Joker.
Way.
Actually, I'm a bit disappointed to hear that. I liked seeing an older Batman.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good direction to go in for a while. I don't think they need to go to a younger Batman, but if they're
Well,
going
I think
to,
the
fine.
idea is that if they're going to recast it, they're going to give this actor a chance to tell his whole story.
They want
you
to
know?
be able to make more movies and more profit.
Yeah, if they start him off older, that kind of limits them, which is
Well,
unfortunately why
there-
John Hamm is probably not.
There's also not the news of that. There's more news. We keep focusing on Batman and Aquaman. There is the Birds of Prey news. The sequel to Suicide Squad 2 is going to be directed by Guardians of the Galaxy.
James
Geno
Gunn.
Schwartz.
James Gunn. I don't remember these names. Come on.
No, James Gunn.
James Gunn is
That's
getting
a big deal.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, he's getting
no.
it.
He's getting Suicide Squad 2.
Oh, but not Guardians. He got kicked out of
No,
that.
he got kicked out,
Right.
and yeah, that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, he got kicked out of Marvel, and now DC just snapped him up.
DC snatched
Hell,
him up
man,
as soon as he could.
You can say the same thing about Joss Whedon. He burned out on Marvel, and then DC's like, well, come
Too
over here,
controlling.
then.
That is
You know?
the one thing that you did say about
But I don't
Disney,
think
which is
DC's going to want their leftovers forever.
That they've done it twice now.
I
which
don't
is a
know.
real
They're
shame.
throwing away some good directors.
You know, and if Justice League had not been so panned as it was, Joss Whedon was probably perfectly ready to go on their next
Yeah.
one, but I don't think he wants to touch this now.
Yeah, but there's the news of that and the new movies and all the stuff they're adding to their streaming service.
Yeah, DC has an app.
Yep.
And they've got shows just for that.
They
Titans being their
brought
big one.
Titans and Young Justice, the animated series, back.
Titans is a live action superhero
Teen Titans
show.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Teen
It's-
Titans show.
and it's
What's their
excellent.
streaming service called?
The DC app. It's literally the DC. They call it the DC app.
Clever name.
See this, Josh, I think you are really shining a light on the the landscape will change.
Yes.
But as of right now, you're completely unaware that there's an excellent show on a DC app. You didn't even know.
What's the show?
Titans.
Oh, Titans was the excellent show.
Yeah, but that's my point.
It gets better.
No, but what I'm saying is there's going to be so many of these. Everyone's going to
Yes.
have their own channel, and you're going to be like,
Even
Well,
more.
if anything, I'm shining a light on how ubiquitous all of this comic fever has become. And
Well,
I've never really, I don't have
Well-
anything against it, but I've never jumped on it. So
Unfortunately, it looked for a minute that it was burning out. And then
when did that happen? When did it look like it was going to burn out?
Thor 2, Iron
Oh.
Man 3. The movie started to fizzle and they started making less money and then they brought it back to where it used to be.
Only
with
made
the
500 million instead of 600.
Avengers
Excuse
Age
me.
of Ultron. Marvel started burning out.
they had kind of like a wave of less success because the
They
movies
did.
weren't as strong.
And
but
then
they came back.
they swung it back and
They did.
DC
Captain
has-
America revitalized it a
Yes.
bit with Winter Soldier, and they were like, oh, they can be like
Well-
that. Okay.
Well, DC is trying now to become their own thing.
You think they're finally learning their lesson?
I think they learned their lesson that they shouldn't have tried to rush it. That was their problem. Is like they saw the success of what Marvel did, and like we could do that right now. No, you can't. You need to build up your franchises, build up your characters. We know who they are. Let's find them out again. The one thing I did like they did this round is we didn't get another true origin story for Batman. We've seen Batman come back. Oh my god, he went martial arts. He was a kid. We see him die. And then, of course, there's the Flash movie, which I just went sideways on because if they do Flashpoint Paradox,
I don't think they're going to now.
they still are discussing it, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan said he's 100% down. He will move his Walking Dead schedule around to be able to be Thomas Wayne again.
I know you have no idea what we're talking about, Josh.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you saw Flashpoint?
Yeah, I'm just totally enraptured
animated?
by your conversation. That's all.
Oh, all right.
Well, I would love to see that because that's my favorite story of DC has put out besides the death and return of Superman. Is the Flashpoint Paradox
it
is
was
just
fantastic.
one of the best things they've ever made in my opinion.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I mean, for until Aquaman, because quite frankly,
No one saw Aquaman coming
no
as
one
big
thought
as it did.
Aquaman was going to work.
No one
but
thought,
it's doing
okay,
well.
it's Jason Momoa, he looks good, people will go there and watch it, and then 500, 600 million. Nope, broke $1 billion, made a lot of money in China,
Why has Aquaman kind of been the butt of a joke for the longest time?
because everyone thinks that he has to be in water in order to help people. He can't come out of water.
So he can.
He can. He has superhuman strength and invulnerability. People don't really realize that. And then
Does every Aquaman have superhuman strength? I mean, the Aqua people he lives with?
every Atlantean has superhuman strength, but only the royals can breathe air.
I did not know that.
Okay.
That was a big deal because they had reverse scuba suits
I was
for their
completely unaware of that.
troops in the movie.
Troops?
The Atlanteans have
Okay.
they're the mass in the DC universe. They are the largest military on Earth.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, we forget he is like king of the ocean, and the ocean is 70% of our world.
He runs. I can't remember. It's like the 12 factions of the ocean. No, the 7.
Wait, that's not true. Sequest never found anything like that.
Sequest didn't really go where they wanted to go.
What was the dolphin's name?
Flipper?
No,
It wasn't Flipper. I can't remember, but it talked, and then there were the
Oh, Einstein or something stupid like that.
Maybe he tried to tell Captain
Rockefeller.
Bridger, and they didn't understand. Aqua, what?
what's an Aquaman?
Don't you remember he had like little tunnels and he would swim through the ship?
Yeah, he had tubes that he'd be able, and he sitting there looking at
No,
it.
he would like
wave.
yeah,
at
he
him
would
and
like
goes
swim
through.
the hallway and
Yeah.
he could swim through your room.
He was
and
like the captain's pet
he'd
dolphin.
go visit Jonathan Brandis.
They literally
I mean,
have what's the equivalent of hamster tubes
Yes.
filled
yes,
with
that's
water.
what it was. No, he had that yellow walkie-talkie, and it like
It
Jonathan
had-
Brandis could like he scientifically
he would
found out
communicate with them and actually talk with them.
like hello, how are
Well-
you? It was
well,
like
the best part-
translated from his clicks.
The best part of all is the fact that he was the bomb sniffing dolphin first.
Was he?
He worked for the military, and he was the one who would search for bombs and depth charges and stuff like that underwater. And he would point them out. That's because he had that headgear on the top of him.
Right? Yeah.
And he would actually he would find explosives underwater, and that was the point of him. And we went way off topic on this one.
because all those terrorists
You
keep
got me
planting bombs
enraptured
in the
with
water.
COS
That's why.
DSV.
But no, but Aquaman did something for DC. No other movie did, like we said. And so they've decided to do the standalones with Harley Quinn getting her first movie by herself, which is The Birds of Prey. They had to push back the Flash movie because of Fantastic Beasts filming for Ezra Miller. And they Suicide Squad 2, The Batman has been announced, but we don't know who is in that officially. We don't know.
actually really looking
They
forward to
are
Suicide
talking
Squad.
about possibly doing the Court of Owls. And they don't know about the Rogues Gallery because he said the one thing he felt has never been focused on is Batman's detective skills. And that's what he wants to be a major part of this and to have it stand alone. And the question is, what did that do to Shazam? And
That's
what
not
is that?
true. They focused on it in Batman Forever. Alfred
Yes.
even said, "You're quite smart, sir, despite
Yes,
what people say."
Mr. E, Edward Nigma.
Mr. E. Enigma.
Mr. E. Nigma.
Yes, but what does this say? How are they changing the movies they already have coming out? Which is,
Right.
what are they doing to Shazam that they're taking out to not have it as contained? Because a lot of Shazam is, oh, look, here's a bullet bounced off Superman.
Did they say they're doing that? That they're removing the references?
They haven't officially said, but then they did that with Batman, with Aquaman. All right.
Well, all right. I'm intrigued. I'm ready to see more DC stuff and see where they go.
Josh, what about you?
This has been very eye-opening. I had no idea about what you were saying, maybe about 95% of the time. That's great, though. Sure, I just learned a whole lot. I'm probably not going to remember any of it. I probably should have written it
Who
down.
actually does, though?
You.
Yes, but I know stupid stuff that no one else does. That's why I'm here.
All right. So if you like the show, don't forget to rate us on iTunes, leave us a comment, and hit that subscribe button. And visit our website if you want. It's popcultureonblast.buzzsprout.com. You can also email us directly at pconblast@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Justin, and I'm going to go watch Sequest DSV.
You already are watching it.
And I'm Tim, and that's it.
What was that dolphin's name?
God, I don't know.
I
It's
don't
gonna drive me
remember.
crazy.
Where's the Google?
I'm going to Google it right now.
All right.